pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Alderman Cheney. Alderman Dorhoff.
Present.
Alderman Fouch.
Present.
Alderman Milner.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, Mills are excused. Mayor Zaring.
Present. All right, we have a quorum, and there are no ceremonial matters this evening.
No, sir.
And no public participation, correct?
Correct.
All right. Move along to the approval of the minutes. First, we have the Board of Aldermen regular meeting from March 18th. Those were provided to you in your packets.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion from Alderman Turner with a second from Alderman Fouch. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those stand approved. Next, we have the closed session minutes from March 18th.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Alderman Dorhoff with a second from Alderman Milner. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cheney.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Fouch.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
All right, those minutes stand approved. Now up for the agenda items. First agenda item is Council Bill 10.
Council Bill 10, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville directing future contracts awarded to fiber optic broadband internet suppliers.
All right, Jeremy.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have me tonight instead of Patty standing in regards to the tide, so that is included. That kind of exempts them from the 75% requirement for the rest of the broadband providers within Harrisonville. And I will do my best to answer any questions.
What's that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. First, I'm sorry. First, we let Brad needed to add something to that,
Well,
just
Jeremy,
in case.
there's only 4 sections in the community, mainly a couple of them down to the south of the community, and those sections by serving, and that these contractors bid on holistically, and so we can't require them to do the percentages that we've had as a policy.
All right, Alderman Fouch, go ahead.
Does the county have any jurisdiction?
No.
So we can't require them to do the 75%, but we can still do people coming in and digging, which is what we had
Yes.
problems with.
All of our right-of-way requirements, which would include business license, all those kind of things, proof of insurance, would be they have to follow that. We just can't put them through the normal process of saying you're going to serve the whole community or present that you're going to serve the whole community, because they only have the contract to serve those federal located areas.
So they have their federal areas, and because they're protected by that, they can pick and choose what neighborhoods they want to come into and
Well, they
serve.
In
bid
those
for those
areas.
areas.
They
Yeah.
bid for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they bid for those areas,
Okay.
and I know of 2 of them. So one of them is Eastern Hills.
Okay.
One of them is down in Glen Eagle, the 4
Mm-hmm.
most southern homes, and I'm trying to remember the other 2
It's
specific
all
areas.
southwest.
Yeah, I was out kind of south of like Sapp Brothers, that southwest area out in there. There were some vicinities that are in the city limits, but they bid on these because they were deemed to be unserved. And so it's part of the Rural Broadband Initiative, and so they got these, grant monies, for lack of a better term, to go out and build out those specific locations. And so, I mean, they are basically mandated at this point
Okay.
because they receive those federal funds to build
To
these out.
provide those services for those
Yeah.
areas.
The only outstanding question that I continue to have, because I do believe that this is for the betterment of those residents, is will they then also build out other areas of those neighborhoods as those neighborhoods potentially continue to build out? That is unknown, and they have not responded to that at this point. But yeah, they will require business licenses for their contractors with all of those requirements, right-of-way permits, pole attachment agreements, all the things that we require of any contractor in the city.
Are those areas provided services from us as a community, or are they rural services? Are they Osage Valley and other electrical services and
No,
water
they're on-
districts?
I don't know about the southwest portion, but I know portions of those definitely have our utilities. Yes.
Our utilities,
Yeah.
okay,
At least electric.
okay.
I don't know about what water is in Glen Eagle or anything like that. I think it's just straightforward.
And
Yeah.
we were unaware of it.
Yeah, we had no idea until they showed up, and we stopped.
I know
work.
everybody thinks that the government talks to us, but we were unaware of it until we ran a contractor off that was in our right-of-way, and we didn't know about it. And as Patty began to research and find all of this information out, but the federal government didn't send anything as notifications to us. I don't know if they sent it to the county and it was supposed to go from there, but they did not send it to us.
And that doesn't mean that in these areas, now they've got the funding and the contract to go put the infrastructure in. Any other questions? All right, this is a resolution. And I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
All right, motion from
Second.
Alderman Fouch with a second from Alderman Dorhoff. Roll call, please.
Alderman Fouch,
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Cheney, Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
All right, Council Bill 10 is now Resolution 2024-05.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, next up, we have a public hearing on CDBG closeout for demolition project. I'm going to open that public hearing. Christina.
Point. I can call you guys.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So I'm just going to read some notes, just kind of going over the project so you know what was accomplished. And I may refer to Christina if there's something I didn't quite capture that maybe she can help me with. And between the two of us, we'll make sure we get everything reported. And then at the end, we'll take any public comments that I can, and I'll note that. I do provide separate minutes for this hearing to the state. So it's not like we have to provide the city minutes to the state, but if you want to include that, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
So the purpose of this hearing is to hear public comments on the old electric and water plant facility demolition project. Now that at least 80% of the project is complete, and we know that all of the demolition is 100% complete, and we're just at the final stages of providing closeout paperwork. I'm Lisa Danbury with the Mid-America Regional Council, and I was contracted through the city to be your grant administrator for the CDBG funds. And so with this project, we applied for $300,000 because we weren't quite sure how much it was going to cost to demolish these buildings, and that was the maximum that you could receive from the state. The state required at least a 20% match on the demolition contract itself, and then the city also provided match to handle any kind of like hazardous materials, asbestos, lead-based paint, that type of thing. So you did provide match on that. We completed an environmental review that's required through the federal government. And as a part of that, we have to go out to not only the State Historic Preservation Office to make sure there wasn't something special about this building that should be captured, so after so that you can refer back to it. But there was one of the Indian tribes that was interested and thought maybe there could be some cultural materials, and so they required a cultural survey. So the city I worked with you all to contract for services for that study. It did not reveal any cultural materials. And the nice thing is the state will, we can do a budget asbestos removal services to properly remove roof flashing and window glazing to ensure that that material did not become friable during the removal process per MDNR recommendations. So even though it wasn't a regulatory amount, it was for the removal of those items was $9,475.58. And so the asbestos removal was about $7,300. The haz waste removal of the lead-based paint and the universal waste was about $1,600. The air conditioning units were around $400. And then the supplies to remove the lead-based paint for the PPE to protect the workers was $115. The contract for Mark was $21,150. Again, that was to help with we didn't charge for application preparation services, but this did cover our cost to prepare the environmental review, work with all of the contracting. We did try to go out to bid for a demolition inspector, and the cost of that was like almost $25,000. And we had budgeted $500, and the state actually only allows like $495 for that service. So you can see there's a big, huge difference between a commercial project or a residential project and what the state allows for that. So the state was fine with your building official acting as the demolition inspector. So we're working to kind of put together some in-kind match for his time to help support that. The state likes to see as much match as possible. So that will be good. If you apply in the future, you have that bonus there. The total estimated project cost was $144,441.28. This includes some public notices that were done and purchase of grass seed for the erosion control on the site. The city's the CDBG funds will be $107,645, and the cash match for the city. There were only a couple of findings, very, very minor. One is this kind of the separation of duties within finance to make sure that whoever's writing the checks doesn't have access to those checks. And I'm trying to think what the second one was now. I can't remember. I had it in here. Oh, the digitized signatures. So the contractor signed. I think it was just a electronic signature, not a certified digitized signature. And then, so the state will take a wet signature or a official signature. So next time, so those were the two things that were really not anything. So we just have a few more things we need to wrap up with the state as far as paperwork goes, and Mayor will need your signature on a couple of things. And so by next week we should have that all wrapped up, I would think, and get that submitted. And anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions and take public comment.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We appreciate your help on all of this too. It's good to have this one about wrapped up for sure. So
Yes.
and I will open it up to, is there anybody in the public that would like to speak on this?
Everybody has decided.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. Well,
I
thank
think
you very much.
Yep. Thank you. We appreciate it again. This is a good one to get wrapped up. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations. It really looks great.
It
And then
does.
the other thing that going into this process, the state, the HUD used to say that you had to make a commitment that you weren't going to redevelop it.
Yeah.
And so once we got through the orientation, after you received the approval to receive the funds, they kind of lifted that. So you can, like if you wanted to make it a parking lot now, you can do that. There's no
Gotcha.
restriction to wait any period of time to make
Gotcha.
that happen. And I believe that was communicated at the time early on, but I just wanted to
Yep.
restate that, I guess is my
Yeah.
final comment.
No,
Sorry.
awesome. No, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We really
Thank you.
do.
Yeah.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
your help.
All right.
Yes.
You're
yep.
welcome. All right.
All right, I'm going to close
And I'll-
that public hearing. Yep, go ahead, ma'am.
I'll just get the sign-in sheet when you, okay.
Yep.
I can pick it up quick.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
All right. So next up on the agenda, we have a first-time reading of Council Bill 11.
Council Bill 11, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville approving a special use permit for the uses of a tattoo and body piercing shop on property located at 1908 North State Route 291 in the City of Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri.
All right, thank you. And I am going to open a public hearing on this. And I believe, Christina, you're back up, right?
Okay, so yes, the applicant is seeking approval of a special use permit to operate a tattoo and body piercing shop within the Harrisonville Crossing Shopping Center. I believe it's going to be over there close to Liberty Tax. Planning Commission met on March 21st and held public hearing, voted 5-0 to recommend approval of the requested special use permit with the two conditions stated to the Board of Aldermen here. The property is currently zoned Service Business C2 District, and the proposed use of a tattoo body piercing shop is an allowed use within this zoning district with an approved special use permit. This is appropriate for this location as this is the C2 district is a heavier zoning district and it is right off of 291. The two requirements for special use of this type is that the establishment is located within either the C2, the Service Business District, or the Downtown Core Business CBD1 District. And the other is that the establishment comply with all applicable laws of the state of Missouri. So that is one of my conditions of approval for this. Also want to note that the comprehensive plan shows this area as regional commercial, which are designated for highway-oriented commercial land use types. Page 44 of the comprehensive plan states that the appropriate uses within that use type includes gas stations, general and drive-through retail, regionally serving medium and big box retail, hotels, motels, and vehicle rentals. So staff is recommending approval of the proposed special use permit for tattoo and body piercing shop with.
Do we know if the applicant has any other facilities of this kind elsewhere?
I believe so, and she can come
And-
speak to that as
yep.
well.
Yep. And we will all have, and I'll ask for public participation. So, are there any other questions for Christina? Okay. All right. Thank you, Christina. Public participation. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Come on up. You just say your name and your address. Let us know your name and address.
My name is Bailey. My address is 801 South Lexington Street, Holden, Missouri. I am standing here to open a tattoo shop with my sister Tiffany. As natives to this town, you know, we've seen the progress and the growth, and we believe that having the first female-owned and operated tattoo shop here in town would contribute positively to the progress that you guys are making to this town. You know, both of us we were born here, and we grew up and graduated here well as our mother, and as far as Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And any other participation? Anybody else want to speak on this? No? Seeing no one else, I will. All right, Jeremy.
Good evening again. So this is a relatively big budget amendment for the amount of departments it affects. We're just doing a lot of cleanup as various projects come in, have different challenges, for example, the election came in more expensive because there's not as much participation in it. So administration needs additional funds to pay for the election. That's moving some monies around in the community center. The fire department construction project, had some challenges with HVAC, police department, canine vehicle, some stuff with the FEMA home buyouts, as those prices changed, for the city's match on those. FEMA did allow for the additional funding for that, but that also added our city match, made it increase. So there's things there. The setting up the 353 accounts, HPC architectural survey, and then obviously some changes because of the airport construction. So obviously those are not all my projects, and so if anybody has any questions, hopefully there are folks here that can answer the specifics about those. But as far as any questions about the budget amendment itself, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right. Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions. This is an ordinance. It is an administrative ordinance.
I make a motion we suspend the rules and move it to a second reading.
Second?
All right, got a motion from Alderman Turner to suspend the rule on Council Bill 12 and move it to a second reading, with a second from Alderman Milner. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Aye.
Alderman Fouch.
Aye.
Alderman Cheney.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
Okay.
Council Bill 12, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville amending the operating budget for the City of Harrisonville, Missouri for the fiscal year January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2024, and establishing an effective date.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Fouch.
Aye.
Alderman Cheney.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
All right, Council Bill 12 is now Ordinance 3686.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Next,
a amendment to extend this new time extension until June 30th of 2026. And this is our $5 million airport reconstruction runway project, and the city is contributing 5% towards the project. And we gave the contractor, IDECR, the notice to proceed on March 18th. They've been out there.
Alderman Fouch.
Aye.
Alderman Cheney.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
Council Bill 13, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, approving a MoDOT Commission amendment to State Block Grant Agreement Amendment Number 3 and establishing an extension of time.
roll call, please.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Aye.
Alderman Fouch.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Cheney.
Aye.
Alderman Davidson, Franklin, and Mills are excused.
All right, Council Bill 13 is now Ordinance 3687. Next up, we have Alderman and committee reports. We'll start with Alderman Cheney, all by himself on the right-hand side here.
I don't have much. Say kudos to the Wildcat baseball team. I hear they're on a roll. Hope that continues. Shout out to Daniel for spending Harrisonville in such a positive light in the MML write-up he did. And I hope we continue to all be good people to each other. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Alderman Turner.
I have nothing.
Nothing? All right, Alderman Fouch.
We announced the launch or the availability of applications for the 353 tax abatement program. Thanks to Dennis for the publicity, and invite everybody to our public meeting on that April 11th at the community center, where people are invited to come hear more about it.
April 11th. What time?
6:30.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman Dorhoff.
I don't have anything this evening.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman Milner.
I just, again, back to Dennis on the article in the paper last week about the old hospital that has been the topic of conversation. So, good to hear that
That's a
there's
good
maybe
article.
some movement forward on that, maybe? Maybe. That's it.
Thank you. All right, city administrator report. Thank you, Alderman Milner.
Remember, the spring brush drop-off is April the 5th and 6th, so Friday and Saturday this week. Drug take-back will be the 27th this month, and then we'll also remember signed off on the 3 closings for 3 of those properties this month. There's supposed to be a 4th one scheduled, and then, of course, the 5th one will be next year around this same time period that was agreed upon. So hopefully in the next 60 days, you'll probably see some of those structures coming down as well in those areas. Then the outdoor pool, there's been some questions about what's going on in that. That's just warranty that the city staff pointed out of some of the concrete that wasn't met the specs on the concrete on the pour. Carl was able to get an additional year warranty on that, and that's what they're doing right now, is redoing the deck where we've pointed out there's been some cracking and things that it shouldn't be. So plan is to get all of that redone, and we are testing the concrete again, making sure that they put those in exactly to the spec, and hopefully be ready for the opening weekend of the outdoor pool, and also CWSS plus park. What's needed, not needed, alternatives, plus additional grant funds that could be out there to pay for some of those additional costs. The Royal Street Extension Project, the 4 teams will be provided a request for proposals on the 4th of this month, and we'll begin to move that forward. Train system is going to be coming before you all over this next month or so to give you an update on the project as well. Again, I'll just continue to repeat, the plan is around the fall of 2025 to have the street done, and the March of 2026 to have the ball fields done. So when people want you to know the status of it, the fall of 2025 is when the streets should get done, and the ball fields by March of 2026. That's the dates that we're working toward to get that done, and we're working with the TDD board as well on that project. The LSL inventory, which is the lead ins, probably go over some of those projects with you all in the retreat for funding. Police department is doing additional patrols in the area of Independence Street and Washington Street, with some of the complaints have been getting about the people running the stop signs and driving too fast, as well as hazardous driving around the high school, and so they've been doing extra patrols around there. Corporal McCullough and the K9 Aki has passed their narcotics certification, and so he's going for his 2nd certification. The fire station remodel projects continue to move along. The sleeping quarters, the fire department moved into those sleeping quarters last week, and so now the kitchen area and living area, the workout area, all that's being done right now. So that's continuing. Staff have been meeting with additional developers that have been looking into the area. So we're continuing to see a lot of movement on the housing front, even with the current conditions that are going on. And so we're hopeful to be bringing some of those additional housing plots and plans to you all here in the near future. And then tomorrow's the election. Daughter, and our heart goes out to them, and our prayers go out to them and their loss. And with that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Municipal court report was in your packets from February. Questions from the media? Nothing? All right. Thank you for being here, sir. And I was just going to wrap up again. I was going to say keep for all you're doing for us up there while you're leading this up. So we appreciate all that you're doing as well. All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion from Alderman Milner with a second from Alderman Dorhoff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Take about 10 minutes and then we'll start the work session. I think we got some